Tottenham Hotspur have been given a lifeline here as they are most likely now gonna stay up after West Ham's yesterday's defeat to Newcastle United. Robert Lewandowski and Antoine Griezmann bid their farewells to Atletico Madrid and Barcelona. But before we start, I want to give a quick shout out to today's sponsor, Zoom Communications. Yes, Zoom Communications that helps people communicate and connect anytime, anywhere with smooth online meetings and communication. Thanks to Zoom for supporting the show. And now let's get into the episode. So let's get started. Let's start with yesterday's Premier League games. First of all, Manchester United beat Nottingham Forest 3-2. I mean, obviously, both teams had nothing to play for, really. I mean, United's already got Champions League football. Nottingham Forest, they already survived the relegation. United won one lap thanks to the goal from Luke Shaw, one of Pep Guardiola's favorite players, as he said in the press conference. But then in the second half, Nottingham Forest responded quite well with the goal from Morato. And then 2 minutes later, United scored a very controversial goal. It was a Cunha goal, but the build-up to it, there was a suggestion that maybe the foul should have been awarded to Nottingham Forest due to a handball from Mbuemo. And to be honest with you, I couldn't agree more. How the people in the VAR, the people in VAR looked at it and they say it's not a handball. I mean, I understand those referees now are starting to become lazy, and it's the end of the season, and they want to go to holidays and all that kind of stuff. But this is a very simple decision to make. It's handball. It's handball, and you don't give it as a handball. How many times we've seen this season where you're like, oh, this is handball, this is handball, this is handball, this is handball, and yet they give different decisions. Yeah, like for example, there are so many similar situations, but they give not the same decision. They always give different decisions. Again, lack of consistency. Once again, lack of consistency. I mean, how many times I have to repeat this? From the Premier League referees, they need to improve their consistency. How many times I have to repeat this? Not only they also have to improve their consistency. I said it before. They need to improve their consistencies in terms of what can you do in the box, what kind of because obviously there's a limit. Obviously this comes off obviously after West Ham's got the sellout goal against Arsenal last week, which was rightfully disallowed. But the people, the VAR, PGMOL, the referees need to be clear. What can you do in the box and what can you not do? And again, this is the same thing for handball. What is a handball and what is a not handball? Because this is getting so confusing. It's getting very confusing. I don't know what is a handball anymore. I don't know what is an offside anymore. They even didn't know how to throw a proper semi-automated offside for the Leeds United game against Tottenham. How many shocking refereeing decisions we're gonna keep talking about this season and next season? How many times? How many times we talked about it? And those referees need to improve. I mean, listen, for sure the referees will continue to be in crap in the future because I don't expect because if they don't listen to if they haven't listened to us as fans and pundits and so on about the inconsistencies of the referees, what makes you think that they're going to listen to us finally in the future? But at the same time, they need to explain what is a handball, what is a not handball, what is offside, what is not offside, what can you do in the box, because this is getting confusing and confusing and confusing. So yeah, but again, that goal should have been disallowed for the Cunha goal. I mean, thank God this game was a kind of a dead rubber match, because I think if Nottingham Forest was still if they were not guaranteed safe and they had to, let's say, get a point in this game, and they lost this game and now they're in danger of relegation, Nottingham Forest would be absolutely fuming about it. Nottingham Forest fans would be fuming about it. But the fact that this is a kind of a dead rubber game, it kind of lets the referees off the hook. Let's say it shouldn't be that case, but that's the truth. It does let the referees off the hook because this is a kind of a dead rubber game. But yeah, Cunha gives the United 2-1 lead despite that should have been handball earlier. And then Maguire scored the third goal to give an extra lead to United 3-1. Morgan Gibbs White, who's been in fantastic form, obviously since March and February, he's been in very good form for Nottingham Forest. He was unfortunate, obviously, to miss the Europa League semi-final due to a difficult injury he faced against Chelsea, but he scored, and yeah, United win 3-2, and obviously they guarantee third place. And also, the news came out, but even though everybody knew that was going to happen, Michael Carrick has been confirmed as the permanent manager of Manchester United for next season. He's signing a 2-year contract. Um, like I said before, I mean, he's done a very good job at Manchester United. He's done a brilliant job, in steadying the ship, settling the place. Because before he came in, United on the pitch and off the pitch were struggling a lot in terms of the atmosphere of the team and so on. And Amorim obviously was, like, let's say, causing problems. Let's say. And then when Carrick came in, he brought this calm energy into the squad and into the whole, everybody at the football club, and he's done a very good job. Getting to United Champions League football, finishing third, he's done a very good job, and United have had a strong end to the season, particularly beating the big teams like Man City, Arsenal, and Liverpool. So Carrick has done a fantastic job. Recovering United from where they were in the mid-season. He's done a very, very good job and bringing a calm energy to the team, getting the best out of the players as well, the likes of Sesko, for example. So because Sesko's been, since Carrick came in, he's been much better. So yeah, but at the same time, being a permanent manager comes with different responsibilities, comes with different pressure, comes with different demands, comes with different expectations. So how will he handle it? And the players of Manchester United now will look more serious into Carrick. They're going to be like, okay, is he out of his depth? Is he good enough? When he's the caretaker manager, some players will be like, yeah, they can be friends with the caretaker manager, but when it gets serious, when you're going to be here for the long term, that's when they're going to look at you different. Happened to the same thing to Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. So let's see how Carrick does this time. Is he going to keep doing a good job as he did as the caretaker manager, or similar to what happened to Solskjaer, where he became the permanent manager and it didn't end great, So let's see what happens, because especially United need to strengthen their squad next season. Especially if they've got Champions League football, their squad needs to be needs to be strengthened in terms of squad depth, because this team, when this United side, when they played midweek games in the Premier League this season, they haven't done well enough. So this is something Carrick and his owners need to address it in the future, where they need to improve their squad, especially if they've got Champions League football and so on, and they're gonna have to play a lot of games. And also, they need to improve some areas of the pitch where, even though they have a good, strong end to the season, there's some areas in the pitch where they should improve. Defensively, for example, they could improve. So, yeah. But the fact that the owners have given 2-year contract to Carrick, I think that's quite, uh, I think that's the right decision for United owners. It's not like they've given him like a 4-year, 5-year contract where he's going to be here for the long term. They're like, okay, give him a 2-year contract. Let's see what he does. Is he gonna do well again like he did in the caretaker manager, or is he's not gonna do well this time, because the permanent manager comes with different expectations and demands, and Carrick hasn't got the experience to deal with it. Obviously, he has experience of being at a club like Manchester United, knowing the pressure and expectations. But obviously, being a player is completely different to being a manager. So let's see how Carrick does next season. But for sure, he did a good job this season, and he's earned the position to be like, oh, I deserve to be given the permanent manager. But at the same time, like I said, permanent manager job comes with different responsibilities. Brentford dropped 2 points against Crystal Palace in a critical match for them as they try to get European football. Also, Brighton lost 1-0 to Leeds United away from home. Leeds United have been amazing this season. Incredibly how they turned around their season, because especially start season they had a poor start to the season, but since then they've been absolutely amazing. So yeah, well done to them. But missed opportunities for Brentford and for Brighton. Bournemouth, they have a very, very good chance now of getting European football. Um, I think they need one more point, I think, to get European football. However, there's a chance they might even get Champions League football. Who knows? If they finish fifth, sorry, if they finish sixth, and Aston Villa lose to Man City, and Aston Villa win the Europa League, and Liverpool beat for Brentford, then Bournemouth will finish sixth, and that means that we'll get the Champions League football, but only if Aston Villa wins the Europa League and finishes fifth, which it could happen. Even though Aston Villa beat Liverpool, it could happen because Aston Villa have to play City away and Liverpool have to play Brentford at home. So that could happen. But yeah, missed opportunities for Brighton and Brentford. I still think Brighton have a good opportunity to get European football. Whether that's Europa League or Conference League, who knows? It depends on also if Crystal Palace win the Conference League or not. So, but yeah, like it's a kind of a missed opportunity considering Leeds United had nothing to play for. It's a missed opportunity, especially that they lost this game, and also Brentford as well, when they had to win this game. Where especially they've got a very difficult game away from home at Anfield next week against Liverpool, and they dropped 2 points against Crystal Palace at home, 2-2, who are focusing basically on the Conference League. So yeah, it's a missed opportunity for both of those clubs. I mean, I'm pretty sure both will get European football right now. I'm pretty sure that they'll get European football. However, you look at the battle between seventh and 10th; it's very tight. You look at Brighton, you look at Brentford, you look at Sunderland. We're going to talk about Sunderland because they pulled off a great win against Everton. Chelsea as well, where they obviously have two games against Tottenham and Sunderland as well, who are trying to get European football. So you look Brighton. They're going to play United at home, and they have a strong record against United at home, if I'm not mistaken. Because I believe they always beat United at home. They beat them last season at home, if I'm not mistaken. They also beat them at home in 2002-2023 season, if I'm not mistaken. They also beat them in no, they lost in 23-24 season. Sorry. But majority, it's almost like every time they play United at home, they usually win. Brighton, sorry. So that could help them, and especially United have nothing to play for now. They got third place. Brentford, they're going to play Liverpool away, which is very tricky. Liverpool are struggling, but it's very tricky. Sunderland, they're going to play Chelsea at home, which is again tricky. But if Sunderland beat Chelsea, then Brentford might most likely drop points against Liverpool, and Brighton lose to United at home somehow. So yeah, but Sunderland could get actually European football, but obviously if they finish eighth, it doesn't mean they're going to get European football because it also depends whether Crystal Palace win the Conference League or not. Because I believe if Crystal Palace don't win the Conference League, the European positions are between first position and eighth. Whereas if Crystal Palace win the Conference League, then that means the European positions are between first and seventh. So I might be wrong, but obviously this new format of the European competitions has confused a lot of us. But yeah, I think that's what it looks like, if I'm not mistaken. But you look at those fixtures. I still think Brighton should get European football. I think they should get European football. They've got United at home. I do expect them to win that. Chelsea, it's difficult to trust them really. But if they beat Tottenham, which I'm pretty sure they want to beat them, considering Tottenham are fighting for relegation, even though they're likely to stay up now. Yeah, it's very tricky. But I still think Brighton should get European football. I think Brighton should finish seventh, in my opinion. Whereas you look at between eighth and 10th, it's tricky one to call. I mean, even Newcastle could get European football if all the no, actually not, because Sunderland are playing against Chelsea, so no, they can't get European football. Sorry, but yeah, you look at between Brentford and Chelsea and Sunderland, it's very tight. If obviously one of them finish eighth and somehow they qualify for Europe, if obviously Crystal Palace lose the Conference League final, so yeah, it's very tight. I do expect Brentford. I don't think Brentford will win against Liverpool away, as much as Liverpool have been very very poor. However, this is a bit. I think that final game between Sunderland and Chelsea will be very 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 crucial. Chelsea obviously have to win against Tottenham, but that Sunderland and Chelsea game final day, that will be very very crucial for that eighth place potentially, because one of them have to win that game. Both of them cannot draw. unless Chelsea beat Tottenham, which that means they'll go above Brentford. But I'm trying to work out the calculations. But anyway, but yeah, like I do think Brighton should get European football, whereas between 8th and 10th, it's a difficult one to say. But Chelsea have to win basically against Tottenham. They have to win. If they don't win, then I think it's going to be almost impossible for them to get European football. So yeah, but it also depends if Crystal Palace win the Conference League. But yeah,